Hey people, something had me look into this word, the Pharaoh, today. And I read, it's used many times. I'm down to 1 Kings 3:1 now. It's used mostly across Exodus. But this word, is Pro, and then the E is life. Pro-life is what it seems to say, and everywhere you seem to see it, it's what it looks like. Pro is Greek, is for life is what that means. But I want to hit this word here first, because this is the first time I've seen this, the wife, and it says and married. And so this is a vav, a W, and an I, and a Q, and an H. And so if you were Greek, you would read the Q as a PH or a F, and then the H you would read as a E. Wife, W-I-F-E, wife. And this is the first time I see it come up as married. It comes up many times, 204 times, just like this, and maybe many more times in another category. But they always say, and they took for themselves, and then they'll use the word nice for wives, but it actually says the wife nice. It means a nice wife. I guess that means you didn't have to tie her up. She was nice about it. But this word here, you'll see how they give it many meanings: to take, to get, to fetch. And that you could read it like that, who, QH, fetch. The H is the CH, who fetch. Or, who catch. They read the Q as a K all the time in Hebrew. Who catch, the one you caught. They give it so many meanings, to lay hold of, to seize, receive, acquire, buy, bring, marry, take a wife, snatch, take away, take in the hand, to take and carry along, to take from, to take. It's just a bunch of them. You can see the fetch there a couple more times: to receive, accept, to be captured. And they come up with all that just because they didn't want people to understand it says wife. But actually wife would be read without the dot, because this makes this two I's, and without this dot here, because this makes this two Q's. And it's, if you just read it with the four letters in a meaning chart, it's vav is connected, and make, and Q means to center, and H is divide. And so that's the why I see it, is who fuck. That's when the center divide. But this actually reads in several syllables, like they got it here. The WY is why, meaning how or who, who, and then IF, who, if, and catch, who, if, catch. If you catch her, you married her. If you didn't catch her, you didn't marry her. You just hit it and she got away, But yeah, that's the wife. So the majority of times that this Pharaoh comes up, it's always and hardened to Pharaoh's heart. But, the heart always comes before Pharaoh, and heart is just spelled LV, love for life is what it says. And so it seemed like the Pharaoh had a love for life, and they totally got this story flipped 180 degrees. They totally got it backwards. The story says that the Pharaoh was running them out. Hey, if you weren't pro-life, y'all can get to stepping. Y'all can march on out of here. And in Egypt, PR is the house, and OE is odal, and it means of a royal bloodline. And also in Egypt, Ra is the sun, and the sun is for life. But I want to read this, being that I was here. It, Y is who, W-I-I-T, who it, why it. Who it chattin', CHTTN. Who it chattin', sell me. And sell me, this is the ancient word for a salesman. Who it chattin', sell me. He's trying to sell me something. You see, it's just the SE here. and then the L, and then the M and the E. There's no more vowel points underneath, which tells me that, the first time through it just reads sell me. These extra points, you don't see them on top often. And if you look at this is the most time this word comes up. It's 241 times like this, and you see it has different vowel points every time. It's never the same. It never reads the same. It's just letters, SLME, and it reads different every time. But it's the base word, for sell me. It's a salesman. Solomon means sell me. Just trying to sell you something. The guy knocks on your door trying to sell you something. It's a salesman. And so, who it chatting sell me at? Trying to sell me at for life, or for EM, for them like miseries. And so this reads several different ways, but MTX, MTZ is with series, but it's also, miseries. The final M is a S. Miseries. There was no such thing as Egypt. That was invented I don't know when. And so what chatting sell me at for them like miseries? Wife at 2 B's in bat. And they say this little line down here means there's an A coming after. And that's why they say bat. In bat for, and then HU for who I've, yes, YAE. AE is ES. For I've, yes, I've agreed. In all air, to put it in the news, all air would add clit to, lovin' what, LVNUT, lovin' what at in bitu. And so this is your base word for bitumen. That's what they make shingles for your roof out of, bitumen. They use it for sealing boats, bitumen. It's asphalt is what it is. And so it's 2 B's, in bitu. And actually the ancient word for bitumen actually comes from this base word, which is ITU, and it's itu. And it means it's some sticky shit, it sticks to you. Whatever it touches, it's there, it's too. And that's what that is in it too. And loving at in it too, what, and then this is almost the same word, but it's, 2 B's, invite. And what invite you, and then, YEWU, and then who at, and then commit, CHUMT, to commit her to use, USELS, to useless survive. This VIV is your base word for vive worldwide, viva, life, survive. And so in who at commit her to useless survive. Once he got her home, HUM, he found out that she was a pretty much worthless wife. She was useless. And you see on this Jerusalem, this final M, pronounced as an S, and it's always stuck way out here to the side. You definitely see this moved away from any other word ending with an LS. There is no such thing as Jerusalem. It comes from the word Irish, IRUSH, the Irish, less, to run the Irishman out. Seems like the Irish used to live over there in Israel. So this word for the daughter, it's BT, and they say that this little line underneath here gives it A, B-A-T, and it's at in bat. And so bat, that's the ancient Egyptian cow goddess associated with Upper Egypt. She was originally a deification of the Milky Way, which compared to a pool of cow's milk. Her name is the feminine form of Ba, Ba-El, Bat-El, the bat god. And so they're speaking Egyptian because, they're over here making a treaty, Solomon, with the Pharaoh king of Egypt. They're speaking Egyptian, Coptic, ancient English is what it is. And the kings are the milk. They're up there in the Milky Way, up there in Bat. And so it's just a story to make the reading of astrology fun. And so, the milk from Ceres, with MTSRIS from with Ceres, the wife at Bat. That all the gods, the kings, they come in a series across the Milky Way. So who it chatting to sell me at? Trying to sell me on for the milk, pro the milk, for the milk, miseries of wife, the miseries of marriage, the miseries of wife at in Bat, for who I've agreed to. If you want the milk, you gotta buy the cow. And all air, and let everybody know, I would add the clit to. And if you look in, I think it's in Leviticus, it's talking about the laws of screwing your family. I believe the clit to was your wife's daughter, or maybe your wife's sister, something like that. I'll have to read that again. But yeah, it's a whole bunch of feminine terms that you would think are negative. And loving what at invite to what invite you, who at home it your useless survive. So let's look at this Pharaoh a little bit. It comes up several different ways, but this is the way it comes up the most here. It actually comes up, 54 more times the exact same way. They divide it up because it doesn't have a dot in the P, which would change it from a P to a F. And it's used all throughout Genesis, I think beginning in Genesis 12, the first time. But it doesn't start adding the love to it until it gets into Exodus. And the love comes up several different ways. And you see here in Exodus 1:22, it's for the pro-E, for the locale of homo, O-M-M-U. And his people, it's always says homies for my people. But when it's talking about the Pharaoh's people, it's the homos, the same type is what that means. And then here, when the Pharaoh's daughter found Moses, is what turd butt. What turd and butt. That's what you call your young kids, you little turd butt. And what the turd butt? Pro-life, for life. And here, it's what two more. What two more. And Lee, L-E-E, the past, on the blowed by, the leave it. Leave it, is your past, and what Tamer, and leave it for the like, what talk, hold me, H-O-L-M-E, to hold me, what to frat, what to talk, as the yield. And so the yield is not necessarily a child, but that's where you word, child come from I-L-D, the I-L-D there. But it's the yield is what comes out of it. The man, he wants to hit it and leave it, and she wants you to stop and hold me and frat, and talk to me. And you see it comes up both times in 2:8 and 2:9 like that, but it's different markings underneath here, and so it reads different. The second time, they never repeat themselves. They always change it up. But it looks like leave it, for life. Leave it for life. And here in Exodus 5:5, it's, and who yammer, and who says pro-life, for life in rabbis, arta as here's vesavit is, vesavit is, to fill. The vesavit is at, the vest, I vest you, rabbi. For life in rabbis, arta as hears, and vesavit is at submissive lets. They got to be submissive, S-M-S-S-V, submissive lets. And so this rabbis, I talked about that in another movie, They don't know what it means. But actually, this is when it reads the third time through, the mark says, read that backwards in this my, in my Barbies, my Barbies. And Barbies are your little young girls, my Barbies. So rabbis were feminine. And here, is rule to all for them like miseries. And then it starts Exodus 7:3, at love, LV, at love for life. And then 7:14, it's love pro E for the man, MAN, for the man of Selah, to let go. Everything with this SLH, they'll have let go of the Selah has, HAS. And so this come up many times like this, but it'll change this word here. It'll add a Z, and so to change it, from the witches fell in for who will, the will, it'll change up to witches if love. And this is the base word for God. Sometimes they'll say this means God. And here it is, the Ba in Ba-El. They tell you Ba-El is the devil, but Ba-El was pro-life. Almost have Ba-El pro-life. The masculine counterpart of Bat, Ba. And you see right here, the Ka. That's the, to give life. And that's the Egyptian, the spirit that's in everything living. The Egyptian soul's made up of many parts. The Ka and the Ba, the Ket, the physical body, the Sa, the spiritual body, the Ren, the name, the Ba, the personality, the Ka, the doublet, the life-giving power, and Jib, the heart, the shadow, the gravity, and the Sechem, the power. And so Ba, not just your personality, but it's what you leave behind, your reputation. And your Ren is the part of your soul that's the name. I always say that they named them in the cycles, R and, the first cycle. And so it's when you're born, where the planets are, was added to your name, and that was your birth date, given at birth. So they say the Ba is to go, but, it's to go in, enter, to come, go, and many other meanings, to carry in. And they're getting all that from this description of what the Ba does in the afterlife right here. Who yammer? Who says you helms the Ba-El for life? Who says you helms to steers the Ba-El for life? And a merit, alive, Ka. A merit, a merit, Latin, service, kindness, benefit, favor, worth, a value. It's a good thing. It's a positive. A merit. A demerit is a bad thing. Demerit means to remove a merit, to remove a benefit. And to a merit, to benefit, alive, A-L-I-V, alive, Ka, of the life-giving spirit. Amor ye vessel at homey. A vessel, a sailor, everything, S-L-H. And ye vessel, you're the vessel for the Ka and the Ba. And the vessel is just the body that you're in. And amor, and love ye vessel at the homies, my people, my homies. Why of ding, why, who of ding. Ding is to use the body, all the little scrapes and scratches. They may serve me. They're getting that may serve me from this OBD is the base word for a sheep of Ovid. And here in Exodus 8:15, it's where for life key to give height, H-I-T-E, the height. For life give height at the peak of your life. And then you see the Pharaoh's magicians are the same thing as the Hebrew magicians, and it's E-C-H, the each, R-T-H-M, the rhythm. The rhythm is knowing the rhythm of time, what's going to happen, astrology, the rhythm, arithmetic, mathematics. So this word here, EVA, Eva, if you look at the most ancient art of Adam and Eve, that's the spelling of Eve, it's EVA, and it's Eva, that's a wife, it's forever. This ain't no one night stand, this is Eva. And who yammer to each rhythm is, who says to each rhythm is, all for life, all pro-life, acts in Ba, all his Eva, witches fell in for life, and will, and this is will, it's not, and if you look in the Greek, you'll see that they say nay is yes, and we is no. And so when you look in the Old Testament, you see how they changed both the meanings of both words for yes and no. But this is not. This is will, W-L, to bind power, the will. And for life, will, shmo. And so shmo, they say it's a Hebrew word for idiot. But it's just Joe Schmo. Nobody important. Will Schmo, all his chaser didn't bear you. And so this hardened the Pharaoh's heart. It comes up a lot, but they changed this word. Here it's who coveted. Who the cupboard, to stack your cupboards with more food for later. Who coveted thy neighbor's wife. And the rest of the time it'll be which as if this hardened. But who coveted for life at love bugs. A Lubbock line, that's the center line of a compass. His heart in the center has everything to do. They used to think that love came from the heart. And who covet for life at love, and then B-U-G, the bugs, the love bugs, in buffoos, and that's where the word buffoon come from, in buffoos, these is that, two Z's, E-Z, T-H-E-Z, these, and then Z is at. These is at will sell at those. At is actually two. It's when you read it the second time, words with A read backwards, and it's two, the sell two. But we'll sell at those. We'll sell to those. Up for sale. So this is only when you covet and you have a whole bunch of wives, and you covet for life at the love bugs. And buffoo, these is at, will sell to those. And so that's probably what Solomon had bought when he got home and found out that she was useless. But this covet is one of them words that has a whole bunch of meanings. But yeah, that's better. To be heavy, to be weighty. The covers is loaded down. It's not hardened, but full, overstocked. You see now here this hardened, the heart is now is, which is if it tie. Which is if it tiet. And tiet is the knot of Isis. And which is if it tiet. Love for the word, W-R-D. Fairies, F-A-H-R-I-E-S. The fairies. And wake bid. W-A-K-E is wake. That's behind you, in your wake. They're right behind you. The wake bid. In before of who of call, the chili. And so this is C-H-I-L, and the Greeks give the U, the Y, and that's where their word the chili comes from, and they'll say that means the leader of an army of 1,028, or the square of 32 is what it is. When it's 32 degrees, it's chilly. And 32 square is 1,024. And that's they'll say a Chile is. He's a commander of 1,024. But that'll be the Chile Arch, they'll call it. But Chile is just 32. And I've called the chill to. It's time to chill them out, to call the chillers. And the chill to widow. And so widow is a way of saying, I will kill you, I will make a widow of your wife. It's a nice way of saying, I will kill you. To the widow, from cries give. Any you, Hujo suckin'. Hujo suckin', S-U-K-N. A bunch of Hujos. Which is if tie at love. For the word fairies, wake bid, behind you bid. So I will pursue them. The word of fairies, the wake bid. Having for who of call chill to call the chill to widow. From cries give any you Hujos suckin'. So Exodus 9:1 starts with, and who yammer you helms have Baal for. Who yammer is the word, and the word comes from the heavens. That's who's saying it. And the word you have the helms to steer on. You're steering on the stars. The HALMS. The helms have HV. To have, and then to, and Ba, the name, the reputation, in Ba, in the reputation of, for, and whoever, the final E, whoever it, alive, Ka, the life-giving soul, Amari have, all they, the ovaries, Marie. Marie is the virgin god of the sailors, It's where the word marine come from, and all the ancient oceans were the mare, the oceans, and a live soul, and Omari have, all they, the ovaries, sail, at homey, who of ding, and which is if you had love for them like miseries. Which of you that like the miseries, that have love for them like miseries. Word of a hurry in Ben his roll. And of in his roll it says, in bid Rama. In the hand, is what they usually say this is. B-I-D in the hand, in bid Rama. And whammer and cry for life loving his role. In Vix is in barracks, in the barracks, not in land, but where your armies live, in the barracks. In the barracks, sugar holy is them maiden bear. And so the moral of the story is this is not a pharaoh. This is just a set of letters, a P-R-O-E. When you see it here, it's Y-if, two I's, W-Y-I-F. Y-if Sephiro, the lily. So the Sephiro of the lily is the moon Sephiro. The Sephiro of the lily. So rose Pharaoh in the night. Who if Sephiro the lily, Eva? You see a little dot here now. It's not Eve, but it's E-V-V-A. Eva. To call of do. To call of do. Your servants is the ones that do, when you call. To call of do. And claims her is what they, Sophie, what they scream, Godel have in miseries. Give ain of it as rain, says with, says mit, says with. Dead is moot.